afternoon, SFL Nation. A fantastic weekend of games continue here as SFL action resumes with Saturday's slate of games. Starting off here, welcome to the Eye in Florida, where the Storm host the red-hot Houston Headhunters. It's pretty warm, 84 degrees here, and as I like to say, our forecast for today is going to be a fantastic game of SFL football. I am your play-by-play commentator, Mark Lopez, and with me is the one and only Steven Mullinex. Steven, Houston's probably the hottest team in the league right now. They got a 5-win streak, and Florida is probably the opposite of that with a 3-3 record. You think we're going to get a one-sided affair, or will Florida put up a fight as the home team tonight?
Yeah, that's really going to be up to Florida. I mean, Florida comes in a bit struggling, even despite the 3-3 record. You know, a lot of those games were won by 3 points or less, and so they are really walking that tightrope. And then they have to come in here into their own house, which they haven't really had much of a home field advantage this season, of scoring less here in the Eye than on the road. They face a really stiff challenge here with a tough Houston team.
And we will see if Florida will be putting up a fight. They're going to kick the ball up first. Houston will receive in the end zone and brought up upfield all the way to the 21-yard line. That's where they're going to start. On stats tonight are Joshua Durr and Ron Haynes. And as always, our broadcast is brought to you by our Commissioner Cameron Irvine. You're watching the SFL here in the Virtual Football Network. Houston, first down at their 21-yard line. They line up empty to start. Step back by Houston, and good quick pass there. They get a first down real quick. Let us introduce you to this Houston offense as we pull it up. John Lakeman with a nice quick pass and completion to set up first down. Running backs are Tino Sosa, Baloo Scott, and Tornea Rivera. Wide receivers are Toby Bonnets, Mike St. Green, D.R. Sim, and Greg Corky. Tight end is Daisy Peace. On the offensive line, we got Rick Gorski, Barry Simeon, Scott Calvin, Sarah Bergens, and Emmanuel Petrol.
Excuse me?
And there's a pitch out here that the running back number 25 goes to the outside. A nice gain right there by Baloo Scott. She runs out to the outside. Look at the blocking right there. Actually, the pulling guard, I believe, able to get that nice block. And that's going to be a nice first down conversion. You know, Houston comes into this game as one of the top rushing offenses. It was strange to see them come out with a no-back set. Still, they're doing a great job of mixing the run and the pass, and a great job there out of the bunch formation, running behind that trips down at the bottom of the screen, gets that to Tino Sosa. Going to make this a very convertible second down.
Hopefully I'm back here with you, Steven.
You are.
Awesome. I might have disappeared there in the middle of introducing this Houston offense, but the Houston offense are looking good to start here. And you were talking about the great running. They go back to the run on second down. Steven, how have the last couple of plays looked like to you?
Yeah, I mean, look, it initially looked like they were going to come in, start the game in a no-back set, like they were going to pass the ball, but they've been steadily running. And here, another pass.
Oh, not enough for the first down. So they're unable to convert on 3rd and 4. Florida, against the incredible Houston offense, as we alluded to in the beginning of the game, are able to stop them for a punt.
Yeah, the defense doing a nice job. Ranking around middle of the league, 14th against the pass, 13th against the run. Really been the stalwart of this Florida team so far this season has been this defense, giving good, steady effort there and doing a great job of really stopping what was looking like a surging Houston offense on their first series, and now able to get the ball into their offense's hands.
We will get a first look here at Florida's offense, led by Isaac Covert on the quarterback spot. Running backs are Bullet Beletsky and Chris Komisar. Three wide receivers set here on first down. Covert will pass on first down. It's going to be a swing pass to his running back as Bileski gets a healthy 4 yards. The rest of the offense include wide receivers Art Vandelay, Mike Twinscrew, and Shea Carroll. Their tight end is Ron Haynes, and on the offensive line, their contracted players are Joseph Wade and Greg McDonaldson. So 2nd and 6 now. They line up in an offset eye jokers set. Two tight ends on the line. Handoff down the middle to Bileski. They'll say he gets it.
Oh, wow. It might be too early in the game to challenge that one, Mark, and just go ahead and let that one go, but it was close.
Very close. I would have judged it short of the down to gain, but referees are going to say otherwise. Florida back to an ace trips package. Pass again by Covert, and that is a nice quick slant route. He makes his completion to Ron Haynes.
Yeah, just really quick, and they're just trying to neutralize, I think, this Houston pass rush, and that's just it looks like a go route to me.
Yeah,
just a straight. I know, like you draw it in the sand back in the day, just go straight in and I'll hit you, and just a nice ball placement there, and able to get that completion and another first down.
Ron Haynes with a 6'5", 255 frame, a very good target here for Covert as he looks to pass again, and a little mistargeted or misplaced intended receiver is Mike Twinscrew, the ball behind him.
Yeah, and I think there was a little confusion there. I think in the play design, you've got two offensive players in the same area. You had Twinscrew and you had Haynes. I thought that ball was initially going to Haynes, and I thought he was wide open. They're kind of a drag route, but it appeared to be trying to get to Twinscrew.
So three wide receiver look again for Covert and company. Ooh, nice throw down the middle and completion as Ron Haynes makes a nice jumping catch in that one.
Yeah, and that was a one-step drop. I mean, a really quick drop there by the quarterback. A lot of pressure in his face. Able to drop it in the bucket there. And Ron Haynes with the one-handed spectacular catch coming down with the ball, holding on to it despite the contact.
Ron Haynes is second in this team as far as reception goes. 386 yards in the season. Twinscrew above him with 43 receptions. Covert's going to throw again. Covert has been leading this offensive drive with his arm. The swing pass to Bileski goes for no yards.
Yeah, and this Florida offense ranks 8th in the league in passing, 240 yards per game, 17th on the ground. So they have been pushing towards more of the passing game, and but they've got an excellent running back to use.
Here's another pass down the middle. Covert seemingly unstoppable. Only one incompletion so far. Let's introduce you to the defense of the Houston Headhunters while they're still on the field here. Mac Dre, Don Rower, Alex Dominguez, and Anthony Stover are the defensive line. Beautiful replay here. That's Ron Haynes once again with the catch. Linebackers on Houston include Jason Peace, Garrett Evans, Juan Mississippi, and Blake B. Craze. That's 4 linebackers on the roster. They also got Dustin Sakasi, John Bartlett, and Kai Cash, the cornerbacks, and the deep safeties are Guy Cognito, Al Ingram III, and Chris Henry. 1st and 10 now. They're at the 35-yard line of Houston. They're going to hand it off here to Bileski for the first time in a while. He's going to pick up 6, a healthy chunk of yards by the running back.
Yeah, and look, Bileski has been a big name in this league for a long time, but still struggling this season so far. Only averaging 2.6 yards per carry. Actually, his fullback, Tomasak, actually averages more at 3. So a little bit struggling here, but glad to see him get going early.
They're going to hand it off to Tomasak as Tomasak lines up at the halfback spot. Lead blocker was a different player for him. And in fact, in the Florida offense, the running game, Art Vandelay also has some registered carries. He has 11 carries for 25 yards. He isn't exactly the highlight of the running offense, but he is there whenever they need him. They're going to hand it off here to Bileski, who gets the first down and plenty more. 10, 5 breaks the tackle. He's in the end zone.
Touchdown, Cowboys.
Wow, it's just the ideal start right here for Florida. Able to stop Houston on the first series, and it is Bileski. Great blocking by the offensive line. Everybody seemed to explode. A bunch of defensive linemen on their backs, and a wide open lane to make it one-on-one with the defender, and He's able to shuffle him off, shuffle off that border coil of that defender to get in the end zone. What a start for Florida.
82-yard drive. An incredible offensive drive to start for Florida, where Covert Steven went only 2 incompletions, and then Bullet Bileski just punches the ball in a huge run for a touchdown. Guy Incognito, the safety and coverage who could have prevented a touchdown, but perhaps went a little too incognito, as Bileski didn't even feel like he was there.
Yeah, and look, and I think that was the Ron Haynes show, right? Ron Haynes was absolutely pivotal on that drive. And then when they got in the red zone, they did what good teams do here in this league. They run the football effectively. That gets you into that, despite that short zone of defense all being compressed there in the red zone, you're able to, if you're able to run the ball effectively in that 20 yards, usually you're doing really good in the game.
Now, Houston here trying to answer back, as their offense is going to start with some kind of outside zone here. Houston, 10th in the league as far as points on away games. They're scoring an average of 19 points. That's good for 9th best.
And a nice tackle there by Jesus Smith, the linebacker. 41 tackles, 2 sacks, and 12 tackles for loss so far this season.
Incomplete pass here, as unfortunately Lakeman, and an empty set, tried to find the receiver downfield. Had 5 wide receivers, but Houston so far have been very good against this passing offense of Florida has been good against the passing offense of Houston.
What confidence, Mark, it would give this Florida team if they were able to get a 3-and-out right here.
Quads look for Lakeman and company. 4 wide receivers out there. Lakeman has thrown 3 times. This is going to be attempt number 4. Fake handoff is going to roll out, throw to the crosser. He's going to find a man opposite field, but Mike St. Green is there to save the drive and keep the chains moving.
Well, I talk about a high-pressure pass. First of all, the play-action rollout to get some open space, to give time not only to get him out of that collapsing pocket, the quarterback, but also give his receivers time to run those long routes. And look, the defender was right there. That had to be a pinpoint pass, and it was.
Mike St. Green on that crossing route was just too fast. He completed his route so quick that they got trying to highlight Mike St. Green, and Tino Sosa said, "Hey, I'm playing incredible too. Look at me, send this guy to the graveyard."
Yeah, and they're highlighting the block right there by DR Sim. But look, when you can destroy a guy off the line like Tino Sosa just did, that's usually reserved, that kind of power. They're really infatuated with DR Sim. I don't blame them there, but the guys in the truck, they love that DR Sim. But look, when you get that kind of power, it's usually reserved for fullbacks, and to have that in a running back with the speed of Sosa as well, lethal combination.
Handoff here to the right side is good for a first down. That is the other running back, Baloo Scott. We have a penalty on the field, clipping. This might go against Houston.
Yeah, this is not good. Boy, every time I see this penalty come up as an offensive coordinator, I mean, it's just like kicking yourself. You're doing the defense's job for them, and now you push yourself into a rough 2nd and 17. This is what I tell my guys on offense. Look, we don't have to get it all on 1 down. We've got 2 downs to get to the first down. Let's see if we can get half this yardage at least to make the 3rd down more manageable.
They'll decide it with a run. They give it back to Sosa. Breaks 1 tackle, but not the second. Great tackling by Florida, and that actually gives us a chance to introduce you to the Florida defense. They got Deontay Stoneville, Alessandro Tomaella, Pete Mitchell, and, well, those are the 3 players on the line. Linebackers Ryan Tobin and Jesus Smith. Cornerbacks Ryan Davidson, Evan Carroll, and Adam Jones. Here's Houston in 3rd and long. They're going to throw to the outside. That is good!
Wow.
On 3rd and 17, Lakeman throws to Greg Corky, his first catch of the night.
Will somebody get that Corky an NBA contract, because he just blocked out with the best of them right there. He had the defender right on his back. The defender was surging to try and get in front of that ball, but Corky able to use his massive size there as a receiver to kind of block him off just in time for the ball to arrive. And would you expect anything different from a veteran like Corky? No.
Absolutely not. But Houston can go back to the ground here. Outside running out of the bunch formation has been their bread and butter all season long, and they go back to it. It's a 4-yard game.
Well, I mean, I think we could say, Mark, we could see why this Houston team is 5-1 and on a 5-game winning streak. The resilience, right? They were on the edge of a 3-and-out to start this series. It could be possibly down more than just a touchdown. But they have just moved this ball consistently.
Oh, Baloo Scott breaks away from a tackle. There was a traffic jam of defenders behind the line of scrimmage and had to be saved by Ryan Davidson. The touchdown was imminent. Davidson saves it, but Baloo Scott does it all to spring themselves here.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how she made it out of that traffic jam that you mentioned there, but this is just another testament of why these two running backs are two of the top running backs in the league. Either one of them could be starters on any team in the league, and to have two is such a luxury, Mark.
They're now in their offset eye here. Eye-wing jokers specifically for the Houston Headhunters. Tackle from behind, and they get to Sosa. Free safeties for Daniel Wright and strong safety Andrew Francis round out this Florida Storm, and they hang on here. It's 2nd and goal now.
I thought that really looked good. I thought the blocking was like schemed right. It's just the defenders just outplayed the blockers.
Fullback dive. They get to the diver, but they could not get him out of the end zone. He finds Paydirt, and he finds a score.
Yeah, look, they haven't gone to the fullback until just now as they get to the goal line, and that's why you want the big fellas on the team, not just as blockers, but to get you those short yardage gains and use some of that power. We went to Sosa, we went to Blue on this drive, and now they finish it off with the big fella that's done the blocking for both of those guys. Reward that guy a little bit, your fullback, which, those fullbacks are starting to be extinct in the league, right? And but there's a testament again showing you why you probably need one on your squad, and the quality one that can get you those short yardage gains and touchdowns like that one.
Houston averaging 4.1 yards per carry, averaging 134 yards per game. That's 4th best in the league, and that's how they do it on the ground here to score the rushing touchdown, but more importantly, the rushing attempts and carries. Ball returned by Florida to the 21-yard line. I still want to talk about this Houston drive, the offense. I mean, we saw the passing for sure, Steven, by John Lakeman, but it's been the running that is the driving force of this offense.
Yeah, it is, and it can be off and on a bit, even on that series. And they made some, let's not forget, they made some miraculous catches and throws there also to get that going. So even though it's a tied ball game, I think Florida, you got to feel pretty good, but I think both teams feel pretty good.
And the defense is going to feel pretty good after getting a sack on Covert. They gave him some time, but not enough time. The pocket collapsed, and it was game over.
Yeah, and look, that's Don Rohr, right? Don Rohr coming into this game had 6 sacks, now gets his 7th, and that's 6.5. Excuse me. Now it's going to be 7.5 total for the season. One of the tops in the league. This guy's been absolutely amazing as a rookie.
To the 9-wide look by the defensive end. Great block picked up by the blocker in the backfield. The throw to Beletsky. And Covert was saved from a potential sack. That's how the first quarter ends, with a great throw down the middle to Beletsky. The score is tied. You're watching the SFL here in the Virtual Football Network. It's a close one, Steven. And we got your aerial coverage of today's game provided by Dags DroneWorks, aerial photography and videography services for real estate, events, marketing, and more. Learn more at dagsdroneworks.com. We got a beautiful look here over downtown Florida is what I think that is.
Yeah, look, anytime you're in Florida and you always see those clouds, there's always going to be a bit of a rainstorm anytime in the afternoon here in Florida, but then it clears up really nice and beautiful weather today.
It is beautiful weather, a little cloudy. There's a forecast of a thunderstorm, very fitting for the Storm team, and they start this second quarter with lightning of their own. A beautiful throw by Covert to Shea Carroll, and now they're moving upfield once again like they did in the previous drive.
Well, they're starting to diversify their offense a bit. We saw a lot of Ron Haynes on that original offensive series, and obviously they got the running game going a bit. But yeah, this time now they're starting to get the other receivers, some of the names we haven't heard yet. We haven't heard Vandelay's name yet. We haven't heard Twin Screw's name much, but they're going to start to diversify this offense a bit, it appears.
4-3 look by Houston. They're going to see if this is a run play. They're going to be ready for it. No, it's going to be a pass. Covert, short step back, throw down the middle. They've got a bunch of this dink and dime plays here to Ron Haynes a few times now, setting up 2nd and 3. Prime time for Beletsky to perhaps get a handoff.
Covert really felt like he had a lot of time in the pocket despite the short drop. That's again, that's the onus being on that defensive line to try to get pressure with that front four and get it quickly.
Houston has an extra cornerback there in the weak side, as Florida will motion one of their tight ends, overloading the weak side with 2 tight ends. But it's a dive down the middle. It's straight line running by Beletsky, easy enough to get a first down.
Yeah, and look, that's riding the hot hand right now. I mean, Beletsky looked good on that last drive, and look, they've gone to Ron Haynes again. I think they found a nice little formula here, and both teams offensively moving the ball very well.
Beletsky averages 10.8 yards per carry now. They're going to give this ball off, not to Beletsky, but to Chris Komisak, who picks up about 2 yards. But to your point about Beletsky, Steven, he has already 4 attempts, 43 yards, and a touchdown. He's looking to be incredible tonight.
Yeah, and you got to take that big run, that big touchdown run as a factor in that. But yeah, his average, again, coming in about 2.5, so doing way better tonight.
Beletsky again. Oh, hit hard as he gets brought down. Didn't quite catch a number of the tackler, but a huge hit nonetheless.
Like trying to catch the number of a moving freight train. That's what that was.
He probably also did not see the freight train coming, as it's now split spread here for Florida. Covert to pass. Covert to the outside. Overthrows his receiver. And that is an incomplete 3rd down. Not quite at field goal range yet. So that is how the offensive drive, a promising drive, ends here. Florida will punt, and Houston have a chance to gain the lead.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why. Either was an early throw due to pressure, or if there might have been an impeded route. But either way, that's a nice stand here for this Houston defense. An opportunity now to take the lead.
Punt is up and will land inside the 10, and it just rolls into the end zone. A touchback will set up Houston at the 20-yard line. And it's a tie ball game so far, folks. Total yards pretty equivalent. But Houston here have a chance to, start getting away with it if they can.
Yeah, we've seen that this Florida defense is up to the task as well. So they've stopped Houston's offense before already here in the first quarter. And so, let's see if they can step up once again.
Man coverage by Florida. As the wide open middle of the field, the defensive line tried some kind of contained stunt. Fanning out, the middle, wide open.
Yeah, and it just felt like Florida had 4 defenders just right there waiting on the running back to get right past the line of scrimmage to attack them, led by Jesus Smith, their awesome outside linebacker.
Another traffic jam of defenders provided by Florida to the outside. They prepared well for that pitch play by Houston, and Houston loved that play a lot, and it's nice to see Florida attacking it well.
Yeah, and the running back, then the onus is kind of on the running back to make a play, right?
Absolutely. Lakeman will throw on a rollout. That is several teams' bread and butter play here in the league, but Florida will defend it.
Yeah, defended it beautifully. Had the middle of that field covered. I mean, it just was full of red jerseys there. And despite having the Hall of Famer DR Stim out there, still couldn't bring it in. Just a sea of red there defending that pass.
Houston will punt it. Caught at the 40-yard line. Broken tackle. It will be brought up about 5 yards. That could have been promising for many more. I think, was it Twin Screw in the punt return? It seemed like it.
That or Shea Carroll, I'm not quite sure. I didn't catch that. But either way, a lot of guts to catch that ball with the defender right in their face, and the ability to break that tackle despite there not being much distance between them, the defender, and catching the ball.
A strip slip again for Covert. Has been liking that formation, and this play specifically, it's that quick go route against to Ron Haynes.
Yeah, what's not to like, right? I mean, such a quick release by the quarterback. That means that he doesn't have to feel any of that pressure. The offensive line just has to do just like an initial push block, and then the ball's out so quick. And what the key to that play and making that work is just how fast your tight end is. Ron Haynes able to get off the line untouched, unchipped, and able to get right through the defense.
Handoff. Bilutsky, they say, will pick up 2 yards. Incognito with a great tackle in the interior.
And then Florida here, just again, you can feel that momentum in this offense. Look, this is starting to look like we're starting to get a feeling of the Florida of old here.
Yeah, where back in the day, Rod Cochran also led the team through his passing arm and passing prowess. Covert here will pass once again down the middle, and who else but Ron Haynes with a beautiful post route to get the catch.
It looks like it's going to be just one of those days for Ron Haynes, right? I mean, look, Covert needs a security blanket, and clearly 86 is that person for him. Nice job delivering despite the pressure in his face. An easy ball there for the tight end to catch. The defenders behind him. Nice big open window. And then when he got Ron Haynes with that extra long arm space, he's got such a huge window you could throw it to.
Ron Haynes' catch radius is a reported 30 feet by the looks of it. But Covert looks to the wrong team. Houston in the end zone picks off Covert. It's a turnover on the end zone. Florida will give the ball back to Houston. Yikes.
Yeah, Barnhart with the amazing one-handed catch. It wasn't that it was a bad throw or even a bad route by the receiver. They didn't do anything wrong. They had it dialed up right. The one thing they didn't count on was the athleticism of Barnhart to get that big paw in front of the ball and bring it in. What a great individual effort by the defender.
Here come Houston. They're back in the field, back in their 20-yard line. They're going to hand it off here to the outside. Baluscott, no, not Baluscott. Pardon me, that's Tino Sosa with another carry in this ball game. He's now up to 10 carries for 34 yards, an average of 3.4.
I want to go back and talk about that interception. You know, they say there's no defense for the perfect pass, but I think they always think about the athleticism of amazing defenders.
We got also a bunch of athletic receivers here. Look at John Lakeman throw it to Greg Corky. Second catch for Greg Corky. So far, only Greg Corky and Mike St. Green have any catches at all tonight for Houston.
Just finding the opening in the zone right there. And I mean, just a perfectly designed play between two defenders. And I've always, Mark, I've always liked that number 88. I've always liked to put it. I mean, I think it makes the quarterback just be able to put it right between the eights. It's a little bit easier.
Absolutely. And look at the red uniform swarm, almost like they were blitzing with how quick they reacted to that run play on the outside.
Well, we talked about this kind of feeling like the Florida of old. Coming into this game, these two teams have met 12 times in SFL history, and Florida has won 10 of them. But the last 4 have been split 2-2.
Throw to the opponent again. We're going back and forth here as both quarterbacks need to get their eyes checked. Well, perhaps not Covert, but Lakeman throws towards a red uniform.
Yeah, and that's Daniel right there with the interception, and a beautiful one there, his third on the season. This Daniel Wright character, man, let me tell you what, this safety is one of the best in the SFL. Currently leads his team in tackles with 58 coming into this game. Like, this guy is a does-it-all type dude, the ultimate utility player there in the backfield.
58 through 6 games means he's almost averaging 10 tackles a game. He also has 7 TFLs, So 1 TFL over per game. Here's a throw by Covert. Oh, beautiful throw by him. Haynes, he just finds himself open as if he's just singing the alphabet.
Well, this is the first time we've seen this today. You know, rolling Covert out like this, and then they tell you don't throw across your body as quarterbacks. But I guess when you've got Ron Haynes one-on-one, that rule doesn't apply as much. Already 100 yards by the big tight end.
It almost seemed like less of a one-on-one and just Ron Haynes running directly at the receiver or the defender.
Yeah.
Here's a handoff to Beletsky. He picks up 4. 2nd and 6 now. This drive is again looking promising for Florida. They just got to protect the ball here, Steven.
Well, honestly, most of these drives on both sides for offenses have looked good. It's just been the turnover here the last 2 series by each one of these teams that have stopped it short of going further. But yeah, they both look, offense has been clicking.
Ooh, Komisak didn't get anything much here. They'll say he picks up maybe 2 yards, and that will be, well, not quite yet, the 2-minute warning. 3rd and 5 now. Offset eye look here. Over's going to pass likely. He's got 3 wide receivers and 2 running backs in the backfield. You could swing this out. Running back is swinging out. That's Komisak on the swing route. Or was that Beletsky? But that is not good enough for a first down and short. That'll get us into the 2-minute warning. Houston only allow potentially a 3-point drive here.
Yeah, nice job there by Houston. But again, I think a good job by Florida. Let's not forget the narrative coming into this game is, you know, Florida. This is a struggling Florida team despite their record, and a surging Houston team. So this is just being competitive is a pleasant surprise.
The score is now 10-7. Florida retake the lead off of the field goal. And yeah, to your point, Steven, it's not only is it a surprise, it's a pleasant surprise because we definitely want to see the Florida of old, well, not necessarily of old, but just the franchise do good, in particular in the season with how much legacy they have. It's just nice to see them do well, and so far tonight they are.
Yeah, and look, they're 3-3. It's not like, you know, they're in the grave or anything like that. But you know, it's just that we're used to seeing Florida. But we're used to seeing Florida dominate, or you know, for the good majority of their season, and it felt like they took a step back this season despite their 500 record. And so a lot of people have already counted them out. And I just, with the talented roster that they have and the talented coaches that they have, and Art Vandelay and Max Paul, Mighty, I just have never felt like you could count those guys out because they've got so much history, so much experience. They've met so much to this league and met to so much to people in this league that we want this. This is what we want from them, competitive games, and man, they're giving it to us today.
They run it here. Houston is running it here. Once again, Florida sending, I wouldn't say the blitz, but definitely the safeties are coming up field quickly.
Well, they've read the scouting report, right? Houston is a run-heavy team, and they're very successful at it. So yeah, they're going to bring up more defenders to try and stop that.
Oh, Houston will pass it here out of second down, and Nigel Bissett down to the 30, down to the 25, and in one quick play, Houston flips the field. Daisy Peace picks up her first catch of the evening. It's a big one.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, the Florida tight end is going off. Let's get our tight end involved, and she absolutely does. Daisy able to, out there on a post route, able to bring that in wide open, but does a nice job of running after the catch to get them not just into field goal range, nearly on the edge of the red zone. What a great job there by Lakeman, staying true in the pocket, keeping his feet steady, and delivering a perfect ball.
Now they're in their doubles look again. 3 wide receiver and 1 running back. Lakeman to throw. Down the middle, without the catch! Are you kidding me? The second timeout called here. I believe that was Greg Corky with the incredible catch.
And the defender's been watching too much wrestling, right? The old Goldberg spear right out there. But a great job by the receiver. I don't know how some of these receivers can take this kind of punishment and not be on the sidelines every other play.
We're at a goal line look already here. Heavy in the box, but kind of a zone look nonetheless. They're going to fall back here. It's thrown to the end zone wide open. DR Sim.
Oh, they just said he didn't get it.
Oh,
he said he didn't get it.
Second and goal
Gotta be a
still.
challenge. No, and it's got to come from the booth, and it's not coming down. He might have just got 1 foot in, but man, we're not going to see a replay of that.
Oh man, I was so ready to give DR Sim his flowers, but I guess none of his feet were in bounds, and this throw is no good once again. Man, oh man, that if this ends up being a field goal, Steven, that 4-point difference might be a huge one down the stretch.
Right, and you never want to let the refs to kind of decide a game, right? So that's just, yeah, this is one they could just erase all of this now if they're able to get the end zone here.
Lakeman will throw again to the middle, almost picked off.
Wow.
Jesus Smith with a 2 hands up to deflect the ball into the turf, and that's going to be how this drive ends. Almost picked off there too.
Yeah, Jesus Smith, I'm going to tell you what, this guy's freaking all-world, man. That's the guy you want in the middle of your defense, anchoring it there, and just comes up with a big play. But, man, the narrative of this game has just shifted a little bit right here. Opportunity to tie. They could have taken the lead going into halftime, which would have been huge.
Would have been huge. This field goal is up and good, and a 7-play, 69-yard drive. A very quick drive. It only took them 54 seconds to get here, but it's not enough to get into the end zone. They tie the ball game. Both teams are at a deadlock with a minute here to go in the second quarter. You are watching the Simulation Football League action here on the Virtual Football Network. This week on VFN, SFL Week 10 continues Monday, while the UFL playoffs reach the conference semifinals Tuesday and Wednesday. SFL on Tuesday and Thursday. No other network gives you more football. The SFL lives on VFN. A minute to go here, Steven. What do you feel like Florida is going to do here?
You know, I feel like they're going to play conservatively. They may not. They may try to get into field goal range. They've got all of their timeouts, but the one thing you can't do is turn the ball over on this side of the field. It could be disastrous.
You've seen Florida throw out a first down out of these two tight ends. Let's see if they do that here. They will. Throw to the outside, one-handed catch. Beautiful play. Nice catch by Shea Carroll. Covert is just on fire tonight.
Well, I think it was just the quarterback recognizing how far back the defender was playing. He was giving him 15 yards. The receiver, Carroll, only had to go out and just run straight and got the ball right to him. They're just giving him those yards.
Covert is now up to 11 for 15. They're going to hand it off here on the draw play. I figured that since they decided to pass it first, they would go back to the pass, but no. This is signaling that they want to go to the locker room as is.
Well, let's see what they do here. If they're able to get into something that's even close to field goal range, they'll start using those timeouts, I hope.
They've almost exclusively run out of this formation. They're going to hand it off here to Bileski. He's going to run down the middle. They say it's a pickup of 2 yards. And that is essentially how this first half is going to end. Tie ball game. Look at those yardage numbers, Steven. How much closer can you be as the clock goes to 0 for the first half? Referee's waving his hand. 2 down, 2 in the books, 2 to go. How do you like that so far, Steven?
That's awesome. This is great. This is what the rivalry. This is what rivalries are made of. This is why they've met 12 times. And so these kind of games, last 7 out of 8 games, these two teams played each other. The outcome was determined by 3 points or less. And this says it's going to be no different in this game. Throw out what's happened in this season. Throw out what's happened in the previous games. This is about these two juggernauts of franchises going head-to-head, battle for battle, ball for ball, first down for first down, touchdown to touchdown in this game. And, boy, it's been a beautiful thing to see. Look, Ron Haynes right there. Well, actually, that's a Blitzky, but Ron Haynes, I think, yes, absolutely, halftime player of the game. I mean, the absolute security blanket at the start of the first half. He's been outstanding, and I think the key to Florida being in this one, on top of just great defensive performances as well, limiting both of these teams to just 10 points in the first half.
And Ron Haynes absolutely is very deserving for player of the half. 100 yards for 7 receptions, or out of 7 receptions. Also, all 7 targets caught by Ron Haynes. He has not missed a single target his way. And how could he, being 6'5", 255, just throw it to him, and he got like 100-foot catch radius. He's going to catch the ball.
Yeah, even though he's got those dimensions, he's got a kind of a slimmer build, right? And I think that helps him when it comes to coming off the line so fast like he's done in this game to get wide open for his quarterback and lessen that pressure on the offense overall.
Yep. Here we go. Third quarter start here at the 25-yard line. Covert will throw. Oh my goodness. Guess who it is, Steven? With his 1 mile catch radius, it's Ron Haynes.
And look there, I think the route running was excellent right there. Able to really make space right there at the end with that defender who kept going forward. His little twitch to the inside was him mind reading his quarterback and probably just looking at the quarterback's eyes. And they have such a great connection now as the season has progressed that they're able to make those little changes through just almost mentally because they practice so well.
Biletsky will run to the outside. A 2-yard gain. Houston here on the road against Florida. Steven, you were talking about how Florida all season long didn't seem like to have a home field advantage. But this has been a game where they've been kind of outperforming many people's expectations.
Yeah, but the one thing, though, that they haven't been able to do yet so far is put a lot of points on the board, and that's where they have struggled.
Covert will throw downfield. He was intended to he was looking for Shea Carroll. Shea Carroll's first incomplete toss his way. Shea Carroll has 30 yards in 3 targets. Ron Haynes over 100 after that catch, and he might go back to the pass here. We'll see.
Looks like they've just operated better in that short passing game. Whenever they've tried to go longer and maybe that pressure's gotten to the quarterback a little bit, it sometimes has gone way too far.
Here's Covert to throw again to the middle, wide open. That's the first catch by Art Vandelay, first target as well, and he gives us a beauty of a play.
Well, you got to understand why. A little bit of a pick play there, but there's no defender about 5 yards from Vandelay. Right to open, right in the middle of the field right there. Just a nice, soft opening in the zone. And, I mean, you can't make it any easier for an SFL quarterback.
Too high safety. The rest of the defenders were on soft coverage, and just that soft zone was wide open. Here's Komasak. He didn't even need to apply much effort. It was wide open down the middle.
Yeah, when your fullback is able to get the ball in the middle of the offensive line, go down the A gap, and go untouched for like 6 or 7 yards, that's a lot of steam to build up for a big guy. And usually they bring the thunder with them when they've got that much of a load to bring with them.
Biletsky will follow suit down the middle as well. And these plays down the middle out of those offset joker eye formation, Steven, the way they run it is they don't even have the fullback blocking downfield. The fullback fakes to block outside. Yeah,
and that's less blocking, and you're going against one of the best linebacker cores in the SFL. So.
Absolutely. That's Houston with 4 of the best linebackers known here in the league here. Let's go over to look to throw out of his split spread formation. Man, he had all time to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He's going to throw it. Finally completes one to Mike Winstrew. That is the 4th target his way and his first catch of the night.
Yeah, and look, I mean, how brave is this quarterback to sit in that pocket all day? He's got his own offensive lineman falling at his feet, and is able to stay and have enough composure to sit in the pocket with all that pressure and complete the pass. 16 of 20 on his passes so far. Have been a terrific good game from him. Very consistent.
That was Joseph Wade, who, as you mentioned, almost fell on his feet, but I gotta credit him. He didn't. Here's first down now inside the red zone for Florida. An offset ace look as they motion Ron Haynes. He's now upright, looking for a pass. They roll out Covert here. He will throw to the outside. It's going to go out of bounds as Vandelay picks up 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, just not enough room for Vandelay to actually make that corner, and that's just kind of a bailout kind of a play. Let's just go ahead, get a couple of yards, and let's go and survive in the red zone here. But look, Mark, they've been successful running the ball. When they scored, they ran the ball in the red zone. Here they've been passing. Here we go.
Well, here they go. As you requested, Stephen, they will run the ball, and you're right. They run it well when they're in the red zone. It's 3rd and inches.
And look, that could have been a design to see, in the previous play, to see if anything opened up in the passing game. They know that Houston knows that they ran the ball in, so maybe they're thinking Houston's defense is going to key on the run in the red zone. So they're just looking to see if anything was open, and when it wasn't, he just went to his outlet.
Eye Joker's look, and a heavy defense, a goal line defense essentially here for Houston. And they break through. Biletsky, no, that's Komisak. Komisak again. He's gonna get the end zone. The first one was Biletsky, the second is Komisak, and Florida have 16 on the board.
Well, that's the fullbacks. 2 touchdowns by fullbacks in this game on the goal line. I mean, look, they are a powerful tool back there. And when you need, go ahead and just bring 2 big fellas to stumble through the middle of that line and get in that end zone and just explode that middle of that defensive line. Just a great job there. Great play call to run the ball. That's their strength here in the red zone in this game. And man, it's gone off without a hitch. That script has been great for them, and they've got 2 touchdowns now to prove it and the lead.
Man, what a beautiful drive. It took them 3 minutes, 51 seconds. A soul-draining type of a drive. 10 plays, 73 yards. Covert went 4 for 5 for 51 passing yards. Houston's going to return this kickoff to their 28-yard line. But what a incredible, efficient offensive drive by Florida.
Yeah, and one of the things these drives by both offenses, right, they soak up a lot of clock. This feels like a fast game. So even though the score isn't real high, it's because these offensive series have just taken up so much time. They've lessened the amount of opportunities for both of these teams to score, but it's been really fun to watch.
Absolutely. Here comes Houston back on their tried and true doubles look. 3 wide receivers and a tight end on the line. In fact, on the tight end spot, they have Greg Corky sitting as a tight end. There's an interesting twist that they got here. Extra blocker on the right side. Yes, Dino Sosa breaks the tackle, and he's going to find a total of 7 yards.
Yeah, nice job by Sosa sticking with it there. Had to try to get the arm bar out there and the stiff arm there, but just able to kind of just work around it. You can just see the patience there, trying to wait till something opens up, and then Sosa has the speed to try to get just that little extra yardage that he can there at the end before he goes out of bounds.
Lakeman is audibling something on the line here, but they're going to hand it off to Bellew Scott, who picks up enough yards and more, and someone's down. Oh no, Florida, they can't afford to lose a player. They will lose Mike Vrabel. Not necessarily one of their top defenders. So, it might be a sigh of relief, but you still don't want to see anyone go down.
Oh, no, and then you really, you don't know what you're bringing in to fill that gap. So, like, you never know. You're taking a chance on another player to come in when that guy, Vrabel might have been the key to this defense. You just never know.
Nickel look by Florida to counter the doubles look by Houston, and a beautiful throw and a nice catch. Mike St. Green makes that under the rest catch, and they keep the chains going.
Well, Lakeman with a lot of trust in his receiver, throwing it into what's essentially looked like double coverage, triple coverage, really, as you start counting the red jerseys out there. And one of the defenders actually just not quite tall enough to bring that in. Nice job by Mike St. Green to keep the concentration despite all the traffic in front of him.
Lakeman has completed half of his passes tonight. He's 7 for 14 for over 150 yards passing. There's Corky motioning. Interesting twist that they have Corky as a tight end here. Here's Lakeman. Pressure is getting to him. He's going to be brought down in his sack, unimpeded and unblocked. That is number 98, Alessandro Tomaello, the big guy with a sack.
Yeah, watch old number 98 coming here onto the left side of the line. Again, as you mentioned, unblocked. Just looked like kind of a twist that was happening on the inside of that defensive line that confused the offensive lineman and allowed number 98 to get her around untouched and have a clear shot at the quarterback.
The linebacker couldn't catch the name, got the tackle busy. Here's a throw by Lakeman. Lakeman, despite getting hit the play before, he was not concussed. He throws it to Sim. Sim gets a catch. And finally, after the missed touchdown, he makes a big play.
Well, DR Sim's got to be intimidating for any defensive back to try to cover. But look, the one thing you can't do as a defender is to allow the receiver to be inside of you and you be on the outside and allow him really to block you off like that.
That looked like Evan Carroll on coverage one-on-one against DR Sim. Coach Demond on chat saying a great catch despite the dangerous throw. Empty look here by Lakeman. Lakeman has good protection. He's going to throw to the middle of the field, and that's going to be good for a first down, they say. And that is to to Toby Bonnets, his first catch, the rookie, his first catch of the night.
Yeah, let's look at Lakeman here. Look at the little nuance of the step forward a bit. Just because that pressure, you want to give his receiver just a little bit extra time to get just that much more open. And that's a veteran move in the pocket there. Just a subtle move, but kept his feet able to deliver the ball right on time.
Empty set again here for Lakeman. He's going to pass again, short step back. He's going to throw to the corner route. That's no good, as Corky was hit in that play.
I fully expected him. I don't know about you, Mark. I fully expected him to catch those balls. Those are catches that they've been making. Both of these teams have been making awesome catches all night long. But yeah, that one there, it looked like it bounced off the helmet of the defender there. So just two defenders in close proximity to the receiver.
They're going to rush 6 here against Lakeman. Pressure was coming. He gets the ball off, and he makes it to Sim. The blitzes that Florida has been putting out here near the red zone has been scary to watch. But Houston take advantage.
Well, you got to do something. You know, you're coming in kind of an underdog, well, not even kind of an underdog against a team that's been on a 5-game winning streak. You're going to have to do some unconventional things.
Hand it off here to the outside. Sosa will get the first down. It's 1st and goal with about 3 yards to go to the end zone.
I like that little extra jump push there that Sosa was able to get to just make sure I'm over the line. You know what? The referees can't take this one away from us. We're going to make sure that we're over the first down marker and give us a fresh 4 downs to get in this end zone.
Florida need to watch that pitch play, as out of this formation, Houston love to call that play. They will pitch it out. Florida, can they stop him? Not if Sosa breaks the tackle, but what a tackle! Florida's Ryan Tobin makes a touchdown-saving play. Houston still have 2 more attempts here to get a touchdown, but Tobin makes a huge play.
And he owes it a lot to the defender in front of him who did get stiff arm. He stopped the running back just enough for Tobin to get there.
Hand off to Baloo Scott, and Baloo Scott jumps and pushes her way to the end zone. Houston have a chance to tie it here pending the extra point, but it's now 16-17. This game is as close as you can get. Once again, Steven, look at those yardage numbers.
Yeah, but look at the blocking on that touchdown. I mean, you could tell by the way that play was designed. There was no way the running back wasn't getting the end zone and didn't actually even follow her blockers all the way in. Didn't have to, able to, as soon as she saw the opportunity, able to tuck it in and get the ball in the end zone.
Kick is up and good. The extra point ties the ball game 17-17.
Yeah.
Beautiful game we're having so far. If you're liking this game, folks, hit and smash that like button, because it's no surprise that the VFN is live again. Please support our hardworking crew by hitting that like button, subscribing, and commenting on this video. If you're in the live stream, feel free to chat and contribute and interact with us broadcasters. It really helps the channel out. Turn on notifications so you'll never miss a live stream highlight or podcast. Thank you for your support of the Virtual Football Network and the SFL. And as I mentioned, thank you for everyone on chat. I see John Lakeman, Jason Peace, Demond Simeon, actually mostly Houston players on chat right now. There's Mike Twins Crew as well. JMK Gamer 1965. Hello to everyone in chat. Here's Covert on first down to pass. He throws it immediately to Houston. Talk about athletic receivers. How about an athletic defensive back?
Well, even a step further than that, an athletic linebacker. That's Jason Peace, able to come away with that ball. Yeah, I mean, part of this legendary linebacker core they have here, when you can drop your middle linebacker, drop him back in coverage that far, and he can make an athletic play like that, you know you got really something special in the middle of that linebacker core there, and they absolutely do. Jason Peace, a big name in this league for a long time, makes a big statement in a big game, and makes a huge play that could maybe get them the lead.
That is only his first interception of the season, to go with 2 passive flash so far. As here's Lakeman, he's going to throw again. Interesting decision to start the drive with a throw so close to the red zone, but perhaps they're also taking advantage of the fact that there's still more space in the field to throw to.
And going back and talking about Jason Peace, you know, hadn't got an interception yet. Well, if you're going to get one, that's the one to get right there. I mean, this game has been neck and neck throughout the entire thing, and that might have just changed the complexion entirely of this game.
Absolutely. We'll see how much it'll impact Covert. That is Covert's second interception of the night. So you look at how many drives that turned around here for Florida. Florida themselves tipped this play. Ryan Tobin once again with an incredible defensive play. Not necessarily a pick, but proving or making this drive difficult for Houston to get any more points than 7.
And I love it. I love that the Florida defense didn't feel like they left. They didn't lose momentum, right? They saw the defensive play that was made by Houston, and they're out here making those same kind of plays.
Lakeman will roll out on 3rd and 10. Throws to the opposite side of the field, and it's complete. Oh no, DRC he just left his defender.
I mean, you can only keep grading this down for so long. I mean, everybody knows that. The number one, the Hall of Famer, number 1 guy in receptions, in receiving yards, in receiving touchdowns, that guy's going to get his. And this is DR Sim getting his, despite the good coverage, not great, but good coverage there, despite the tight window, able to bring it in. Not like it was untouched almost. They just pulled that ball away. I mean, he might have deserved it earlier in this game, but he got it now, and the most important time in the game.
You cannot leave Sim alone, man-on-man on an island without deep safety help. It looked like, single high coverage. It just took that safety so long to come to help him. By the time he got there, DR Sim was already 3 yards deep in the end zone, and wow, what a flip of events. This used to be a very close game, Steven, but I feel like the tides have turned into Houston's favor.
Yeah, I mean, undoubtedly, I agree with that, especially coming off a turnover. Your quarterback's going to have amnesia, forget about it, and continue to play well and consistent like he's done this so far in this game. But this game has been so back and forth. I mean, I just expect Florida to respond.
Covert has responded as he has gone for not necessarily a passing touchdown, but a one offensive drive led by his throwing arm. But Leslie's going to start off this drive with a 5-yard carry. It's 2nd and 5.
I want to go back and talk about DR Sim just a little bit. Like, such a luxury to have that kind of a player on your team. Sometimes as a play caller, you can put in the perfect play. Sometimes you don't have the perfect play in the playbook, but you've got a potentially perfect player that makes a play in big game situations. DR Sims has to be such a luxury to have for Houston. They've got so many weapons on offense, and then to have that guy, it's just more than just an added bonus. He's a Hall of Famer.
The Hall of Famer makes a touchdown the previous drive, but now Houston faced 3rd and 3 against Florida. Beletsky can't get there. Great tackling by this linebacker crew. That is number 58, Juan Mississippi for Houston, who picks up a huge tackle. Wow.
Yeah, Juan Mississippi, amazing on that 3rd down and causing this 4th down, but all season he's been just terrific. 63 tackles, 5 sacks. on the season and 15 tackles for loss. That's amazing coming from a linebacker.
Steven, would you believe me if I told you that is Florida's first punt? Because it is.
Wow, that is shocking. I don't think we could have ever predicted that. We'd be nearly to the fourth quarter before they punted.
Probably a testament to how well their offense have played so far, but you kind of also got to add the 2 drives that ended in interceptions. So 3 scoring drives, or I guess this is, yes, 3 scoring drives, 2 interceptions, and now a punt for Florida. Houston back on the field, 2nd and 9. And that is how our third quarter is going to end, with Houston taking the lead off of a turnover force against the Florida passing. DR Sim highlighted that previous drive. You're watching the SFL here in the Virtual Football Network. Can Florida put a stop to this drive with momentum all on Houston's shoulder? 2nd and down now. We'll see what Lakeman decides to do here now with the lead up. He might start going back to the run. Get back to this double set. No, Lakeman will throw still. He's going to throw into coverage, but that coverage is not enough if the man on the other side is number 15, MSG.
We knew these receivers were great. I mean, they are proving to be so in this game, coming away with some terrific catches for their quarterback. I mean, goodness gracious, with John Lakeman, you can throw the ball with confidence in a sea of red and know that your guy's going to come down with it.
Run by Houston is deflected, or not deflected, but stopped well by the Florida offense. Against those first down runs in the 4 wide receiver set, Florida's been doing pretty well, I think, Steven.
Yeah, and they get a lot of that on that particular play. A lot of good push from the defensive line to push the offensive lineman back into the running back.
Single light safety,
wow.
And the coverage was too soft again. Mike St. Green takes advantage.
I don't even think it's about the coverage, Mark, there. It was about Lakeman's poise in the pocket. He's about to get absolutely destroyed here, and he is able to deliver the ball despite potentially taking a big hit from that left end that was coming around the tackle.
They are now very quickly in Florida's end of the field, not quite in field goal range yet. But even a field goal here, extending the lead to 10, might prove difficult for Florida. A swing pass, the lateral is a fumble.
Wow.
Florida don't get it. Oh, they can't get on top of the ball.
Wow, that was a huge opportunity for Florida there, just not able to get out to it. I wasn't so sure that it even was a lateral. That looked like it's almost straight, if not a little bit forward. But we won't ever know because it went out of bounds.
It went out of bounds. Florida couldn't get on top of the ball here. We got a little bit of dancing by the DBs as they tried to get into position. Empty set here for Lakeman. They blitz the extra receiver, or the extra DB, and Corky makes a beautiful catch in the post route.
Well, it just feels like Houston has made an adjustment, right? You talked about those blitzing DBs. Well, they're making them pay for that right now. I mean, in a situation like you even mentioned, maybe Houston starts running a little bit. No, they know that they've got something in this passing game, and they've clearly got the receivers to take advantage.
And now look at this. The coverage is now a little backfield against the receivers, but on the line, the front 7 holds strong against the running game. Sosa hit and tackled for a loss.
Yeah, and then we start to see, just bits and pieces of what we saw from this Florida defense, making those kind of stops, and then suddenly Houston will complete something deep, and it'll all go for naught.
25th pass of the ball game for Houston to match the 25 runs, a testament of the balance of this offensive playbook. And Beluscott on the catch on the swing route will pick up 7, if my math serves me right.
Yeah, and I absolutely love that play. That was just getting the ball out to a wide open running back in the backfield, and get those easy yards, the free ones really.
Oh, they run it here on 3rd and 4,
Wow.
and it's going to be 2 yards short of the down to gain. Great tackle, absolutely. And once again, it's Ryan Tobin. He has been all over the place.
Him and Jesus Smith have been absolutely amazing tonight so far, but limiting them to a field goal opportunity here.
Field goal is going to be up, and it's good. It started off right, but swerves back into the left. Perhaps the camera angle not doing us any favors, as Houston hopefuls had a little spike in their heart rate, but this is going to be in for 3. They now lead by 10 to score 27-17.
Yeah, those kicks, the last couple, they kind of look like my golf game, right? I shank it off to the right, but mine don't come back in the middle like his does.
Well, Florida need to answer now at the fourth quarter. They got about 7 minutes to even get this ball back to a tie. They're not in any hurry here, Steven, to score a touchdown. A field goal will still work. But that's also assuming their defense can, prevent any further points from Houston.
Well, Mark, let's remember how they got here. I think, we need to see a heavy dose of Ron Haynes. I think we need to see a heavy dose of Ron Haynes. That's been working all night long. And then once you get even close to the end zone, let's rely on that running game again. You know what I mean? So I think they need to go back to their bread and butter.
They have a backup running back here in the backfield. That's number 36 for Florida, Jerome Bettis. First down and 10 at their 29-yard line. They're going to hand it off to Bettis. Interesting decision, and that's going to go for a loss. Typically, you want your superstar running back there if you decide to go for that play.
Yeah, I think just stamming it out, right? Just tired and had to get a quick blow on the sidelines. And boy, what a costly time to do that. I'm not sure why you'd call that play in that situation, but it is what it is.
Now it's offset eye spread here for Covert. Will swinging out here, and that's a beautiful catch and run. Was it Vandelay? Yes, Vandelay in the halfback spot. Runs a swing route, and the throw will go his way. He gets almost a first down.
Well, Vandelay, as a receiver playing in the running back spot, we know that has championship implications, right? This is a guy that is really a utility tool for this offense.
I mean, we saw him do that in the season 21 championship, I'd like to say, when Florida won it all. Here's Bileski, run down the middle. He was going to get a first down. They keep the chains moving. At what point do you feel they need to up the tempo here?
Yeah, I mean, I think both of us feel it, right? We feel that pressure. They've got to get 2 scores. So, but I don't think that they're probably gonna wait till like around the 5-minute mark, I would imagine.
Oh, Comisac delivers a huge stiff arm. 6-yard gain. 2nd and 4. 5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. 5.5 minutes to go. 30 seconds away from what I feel like a tendency to go quick and pass heavy. They still line up in eye jokers at 2nd and 4. Here's the handoff to Beletsky. Great tackling by Houston. Number 44, Chris Henry, the strong safety, picking up his 9th tackle of the evening.
Yeah, Henry just putting his helmet right between the numbers there, making sure that he gets just so many yards and no further. Stop him from hitting that first down marker.
Offset eye joker. We've seen them pass out of this formation. Are they going to run it? It will. It'll be down the middle. It is Comisac. Can he get there? They say short. They say short. They could challenge this, but I would still go for it if the challenge fails.
They've got to go for it. I don't think they're going to challenge. They're not.
Okay,
they're going to go for it. Oh, wait, there it is. A little late. A little late. Maybe he had a hard time finding the Yankee, the little hanky, excuse me. It's got that sunset shirt on, so there's a lot of colors he's got to deal with. Finds it, throws it. I don't know. Let's take a look at this one.
It did look short to me, Steven, at the initial angle. We were given the worst angle here.
Yeah,
as,
there it is. See, that
maybe?
ball. Yeah, because he had that ball carrying it like a bread, a loaf of bread. But I thought he got it over. But let's see.
Not charge a timeout. The ruling is overturned. That means they get the first down. They won't have to go for it on 4th and inches. Although I would have liked to see it as. Now it's 4 minutes to go and 40 seconds here in the fourth quarter. They got to go hurry up. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Go speed racer, go, as I like to say.
All gas, no brakes. Let's go.
2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, single halfback. Covert will hand it off here.
Ah.
And first down, interesting decision. I mean, Beletsky gets you 6, but you kind of want to go. You're down 10. I don't think this is the point in time to be dilly-dallying.
Yeah, I don't think 6 yards is worth a minute off the clock.
No, it is not. Credit to Beletsky. He's averaging 5.2.
Yeah.
You got to factor in the huge run for the touchdowns for over 20 yards earlier. Komisak again will run.
I don't know.
Puzzling.
Maybe they know something we don't. You know what I mean? I'm not so quick to question some of these coaching decisions, but you do got to feel like we're feeling up here. I can't imagine what they're feeling, but this is 4 down territory, so they got 2 more chances to get across.
Covert will throw. It is almost picked up, but no, the catch is good.
Wow.
I thought it was picked off, but Florida says, look a second time because Art Vandelay collects the catch.
Snatched it from the jaws of interception.
Oh,
wow, and it's Jason Peace that had his hands ready to catch that. Vandelay literally scoots his hands just right in front of Peace's hands to bring that in.
The proverbial mossing that just happened. I don't know why they're still running it here on the hurry-up situation. Typically, you pass and hurry up. 3 minutes to go. 2nd down and 9. Throw down the middle. There's Ron Haynes with his I-95 range of a catch radius. Ron Haynes running back to the line as a Covert as well. Covert will look to throw. Short step back. Throw to the outside is incomplete. Intended target was, I believe, Mike Twinscrew?
I think it might have been Beletsky. They both were in the area,
Probably.
but still, what it does for you, that was on 1st down. Gives you a little breather. All right, gives you the chance to get a fresh set of plays in there, so it's not all hurried, and maybe a new formation.
And it is, in fact, a new formation here. 3 wide receivers and a tight end. Covert with a short step back to the corner. That is good. That is number 84, Twinscrew, the intended target, probably from the previous play. They go back to it. Quick on the line. 2 minutes to go here in the final frame. There's the sack incoming. They got to get up quick, though.
Quick.
That was the sack by Don Rower. Again, unstopped in the backfield. Covert will show the outside, and it's 3rd and goal. 2 more attempts in the end zone. They're stuck in this formation. What do you do, Covert? He's going to pass. He's going to go for it to the outside. Tipped and incomplete.
Wow. So much happening there in those plays. Didn't even get a chance to say that Don Rohr is nearly double-digit sacks now for the season after that one, but they're going to kick the field goal and then go onside.
Okay. Kicking the field goal here will be a 25-yard attempt. They're going to get 2.5 minutes with all 3 timeouts. Headed into the onside kick. The kick is up and the kick is good. Florida, after what seemed like less than ideal management of time, will kick the field goal to cut into the lead, make it 7 points to the lead of Houston. Are they lining up in onside?
They've got you.
All right, here we go. The onside kick. What you got, Florida? Here's the kick. It's short. Their flag is... Oh! Did they... Oh, okay, the flag is out. I thought I didn't see the flag for a second.
Yeah, Florida touched it. Illegal. Yeah, so Florida touched it, and they're going to do a re-kick.
Go back. Well, so a 5-yard penalty. I think it's 5 yards. Is going to push them back.
Yeah.
Here, that means they got to go 15 yards. And that onside kick is recovered by Houston. Corky will set them up here for the dagger. They are already in field goal range.
That's what did them in, right? So the first onside kick was too short. It didn't go past the 10 yards that's needed. When it doesn't go past the 10 yards, within that 10-yard area, the Houston would have to touch it first before Florida could actually get the ball. But Florida touched it first, caused that penalty. They had to move back. And the re-kick, instead of it being short, it was long, 15 yards. And now Houston has an opportunity here to really seal this game.
And a chance, the only probable chance here for Florida is a forced fumble in the running back. But with Baloo Scott and Tino Sosa, some of the surest hands in the league, you probably won't see it happen here tonight.
Yeah, you're going to need a miracle. This is what Florida needs, not just for this game, I think for their season. They could use that spark. If something could happen here for Florida, it would be amazing. I know that the chances aren't much as we hit the 2-minute warning here, but if Florida can make a stand and somehow keep this a one-score game and give their offense an opportunity, this could be what has been a really great game. Could be a legendary game if they're able to pull this off.
I 100% agree. If they can pull it off, but it seems like Houston have other things to say, and they're gonna hand it off here, and their attempts to cut into the clock. Oh man, look at that running by Sosa, zigging and zagging in the middle of that field.
Well, we talked about DR Sim and individual effort earlier in this game. The touchdown that really helped to change the narrative of this game, and that interception by Jason Peace. Well, there's Sosa making a play. He knows his team needs to go ahead and seal this. They need a first down, so that Florida starts using those timeouts. Great individual effort there.
Handoff. Sosa. First down. Florida burns their second. They got one more timeout. Is this pretty much it? Here is the math in Houston's favor.
I mean, I think that there may be a handful of time on the clock here if they're able to get a stop, but there's still that field goal opportunity you also got to think of.
Sosa, Sosa delivers and slaps his whole arm on the defender's chest. The defender probably got sent back a whole yard. I mean, he still gets tackled for a loss, but that initial defender who got brought down is probably feeling it still.
Well, Houston should run this ball, run the clock down as much as they can. They still are going to have to try a field goal attempt, likely, if they're not able to get a first down here. That makes it a 2-score game, and that pretty much puts away the game, but Florida will have an opportunity.
I mean, Torneo is going to run it downfield, getting them 3 yards. Let's get a game update from Cam as this game comes to a close as well.
Thank you, Mark. Oklahoma City at Queen City today. Late in the third quarter, it's Lars Bazar getting the touchdown for the Corsairs, but Oklahoma City responds with a field goal. Renegades 16, Corsairs 14. Heading into the fourth, we'll see you over there when you're done in Florida.
Another close game there. We've had a lot of close games here this weekend. Several yesterday. This one's pretty close too, if I do their say so, Steven. Here's Sosa will pick up another carry, but not enough for a first down, not close for a first down, but they're going to send up the kicker to put the dagger.
Me and you, Mark, after this game, let's go head to the bar over here and let's just go watch the rest of that Queen City game. Queen City, Oklahoma City game. That looks like it's going to be one heck of a fourth quarter over there. But still here, we got 40 seconds here in the field goal try to really probably put this game away.
So to extend their lead to 2 scores, 6 seconds to go. They're going to run the clock all the way to 0. Here's a snap high, kick is up, and kick is good. Houston with a dagger. They're up 30-20 with less than 20 seconds to go in the ball game. Florida needs plenty of miracles.
Yes. A kickoff return for a touchdown, for instance, then an onside kick. That would be something you want. 23 seconds just doesn't give you a lot of time to get your offense on the field and a miracle to happen.
Here's the kickoff. It's going to be caught in the end zone, so they elect to return it here. They're trying to catch something, lightning in the bottle, but the lightning has been contained, and we only get a whimper. 17 seconds to go. Man, but what a game from both teams.
Absolutely. And Florida, I think there's no way you leave this game hanging your head too much about it. I think it was a terrific performance by them. I think they showed a lot of promise today against arguably the best team in the SFL right now, and they played them toe-to-toe for a good almost 3 quarters, I think. And again, they gave us those vibes of the Florida of old. And as they continue on through this season, now looking at 3 and 4, they are still in plenty of time left. They are still in this season, And, plenty of games left to be played and a lot of promise gathered from this game. And if you're Houston, I mean, you just continue to see that positive momentum build, 6-game winning streak when this one hits zeros. And you got to be happy for the start for Houston. And, man, they've got to be considered championship contenders right now.
Oh, yeah, I 100% agree. It's them, DC, and Vancouver near the top of the standings who are the championship contenders, but I would put Houston likely on top. Currently, the way they've been on a 6-game win streak now, they come away with a win here, 30-20 on the road against Florida. Break this game down, Steven. This incredibly close game. You kind of already did. Let me add a few more points to what you talked about, because you mentioned about how Florida went toe-to-toe with Houston. Right, first half they matched each other, 200 yards apiece, or more accurately, 202 for Houston. In the third quarter, both teams scoring 100 yards each, and Florida is just off by 20 yards compared to Houston.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was a perfectly matched game through the first 2 quarters. They looked like the same team almost, going head-to-head, punch for punch in that first 2 quarters. It looked like it was going to be one of the all-time great games, one of the all-time great matchups between these two. In the third quarter is really where the narrative changed, and those interceptions, particularly the one by Jason Peace and the great individual plays by DR Sim and Sosa down the second half, that really made the difference in this ball game. And then kind of Florida's offense kind of dried up just a little bit there towards the end, and they weren't able to put many more points on the board and match what Houston was doing. But still, a great ball game. I think we all won. If we watch this game,
yes.
we all won in this one, and plenty of positive things for both teams to take away from it.
Around the league, OKC at Queen City still ongoing, so catch that game after this at the 9:00 p.m. Eastern time slot. You got Albuquerque and Lexington, followed by Detroit and Bossier City. So stay tuned. We got more SFL action here at the Virtual Football Network. But for me, Mark Lopez, Stephen Molinax, Joshua Durr, Ron Haynes, and Cameron Irvin, thank you for joining us, everyone, and have a good night. See ya.
Come on, Mark. I'm buying. Come on.
All right, let's go.